Hey everyone, Kilteroff here. Gonna give you some update notes on the Devstream that just happened, Devstream 89. So, at the top, their housekeeping stuff, they mentioned that there is a Melee design contest that's now open. A few items in the past were designed by players, just like Tenogen stuff. Cronin, Ignis, or not Ignis, the Sylvan Aegis, Fire Shield, Akenbrunt thing, those were player designed, so that contest is open now. And it's open all through March. Details are on the forums. The PAX East stream is going to be at 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time. It's happening at PAX East on this date. TennoCon tickets are just going fast, so if you can get up there, you want to do it sooner than later. You make a purchase on that ticket. I know I'd go if I could. Let's get to the that's it for housekeeping. Now let's get to the actual topics at hand that were raised. So they're making big changes to pacifism defects scoring. Thank the stars, because it was ridiculous. It was just solo players were pretty much screwed, and it's if you got a community of individuals, it's kind of hard to get it going. So they've had mercy and they've changed it. You need a fifth of what you did before, so the requirements are way down. Scoring changes have been divided by 5. Solo players can absolutely get their stuff now. And they have also swapped in the mutagen sample drops from the derelict missions into this. So now you will also be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and work on your HEMA. Mercy. They have given us mercy. Are we not entertained? So that's great. The Helmuth Charger skin is almost done. Quote, 2 weeks at the latest, unquote, by the tastemaker Jeff, the sock man. He says 2 weeks at the latest, probably 1 week, 1.5 weeks. That's nice. He is not going to have a precept at the beginning, precept change that was mentioned, but nope. They're going to be updating the Arsenal's graphics a little bit, give us some quality of life stuff. It's pretty nice, actually. We'll be able to see stuff like punch through, like melee range, status duration. They're going to basically unobfuscate a bunch of stats that, we kind of have to reverse engineer, piece together, rather, through experimentation and testing. So that'll be great for the min-maxers out there so you can, get your stuff done. They've been discussing internally updating the AI. Steve went on a rant, apparently, in their office chat about how mobs should switch to their melee if you are up in their face meleeing them. That kind of thing. So that, they won't be sitting there using a shotgun when you're, in kissing distance when they have a melee of their own. So that'll be neat. There's a whole bunch of new helmets for Equinox coming in. They look great. They look absolutely amazing. I'm not an Equinox player, but these look fantastic. I mean, look at it. They're definitely maintaining the binary style on each iteration of this. It looks really cool. I'm excited. I don't even play Equinox, and I think those look fantastic. Clan UI panes are getting an overhaul. Oh my god, look at this. Oh, this looks so good. So much more condensed. I'm so happy. Like, it's so all over the place right now, and it's, when you look into clan and communication at that pane, it has to truncate and just like, oh, these are the only 2 things going on. Even if you activated like 20 things. This is fantastic. I am so excited about this. And you can see here the work in progress, affinity cost changes, which is another thing, so part of making clans great again. And Dark Sector systems being, their importance being re-emphasized, solar rails being re-emphasized. A lot of the clan affinity bonuses, too, they're going to be not just for combat stuff. There's going to be meta benefits like, increased crafting speed and such. Someone asked them what they would talk about at GDC if they were giving a speech or what they would recommend other people watch. And Scott mentioned how they're always in the weeds. How, and Steve started nodding and saying yes. Like, they're always in the weeds. They're always playing catch-up. I think item bloat, basically, is starting to catch up with them. As they add more and more things, it's balancing. That's what, basically, is what he was getting at, is what they would, give a talk on, or are desperately looking for help on. Balancing, 30, however many frames with, however many weapons compounded with X amount of companions with their own weapons, compounded with, operator powers. They're just adding and adding and adding and adding, and their bloat is starting to catch up and balancing all of that. Particularly with, bringing up the base of mods that have, were way less powerful at the start of the game. With some things now, and it compared to how Magic the Gathering keeps itself balanced after all these years, after all these expansions. So that's starting to weigh on their minds. I find that interesting. Someone asked a question about Tennogen lore integration. How are Tennogen items integrated into the lore? And they're not, basically. Jeff said they're generally, they're just art pieces. They're not meant to be taken as canon, basically. Tennogen isn't canon. So they just, some are more ornate than others. It's just what they think is cool, and because they don't pick them, right? We vote them in, so it's not even up to them. I'd like to point out actually that I've neglected to mention in my Atlas fashion frame video, if I could just interject this real quick, the necklace around Atlas there, all those beads have the sigil, the polarity symbols on them, on the interconnected beads, and the cardinal beads, north, south, east, and west, all have the symbols for his various powers, for landslide, tectonics, petrify, and rumblers. That's amazing. I feel bad for having forgotten that. And then here's the Earth rework. It looks absolutely incredible. Look how dense this all is. All this foliage, the lighting, and it's... Man, Series, if you've been to theirs after the rework, you know how dramatic it is. The sound brushing, everything they put back together, it sounds like you're in a jungle now. There's animals, birds, and... Well, birds are animals, but, wildlife abounds. It is lush now. It is dense. And it will work on toasters. And it just looks incredible. There's way less flat ground with just kind of grass textures. Now there's actual grass entities, waving grass. It looks beautiful. All of this looks really amazing. I can't wait for this to get to some of the more crazy planets, Like Grenier Sea Lab would be nuts. They are possibly going to be giving us a feral Kavat skin, different from the Hayeka. They're letting us cancel stuff in the Foundry! You get everything back except for Argon crystals, because then you could, dupe. But you get all your materials back. It's lossless, so you can now cancel your builds. Huzzah! Children rejoice. Here's a first look at the Bard Alt Helmet. It looks pretty good, but you can't really see the top of it too well, but, there it is. Looks alright. They're still iterating up the photo booth. You see they've added, now you have 3 light sources. You have your main, your fill, and your rim. I'm not a photography person, but they all seem very excited about this. Scott called this Pied Piper. Okay, so Bard Frame is going to be able to lure and distract and Pied Piper. She's going to be able to play music and direct enemies where they're running. So, more CC. Excellent. And that'll do it for this video, guys. Not the most monumental dev stream, but lots of little tidbits. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit like or dislike if you did or didn't. And have a good day. Have a great weekend.